Hello everyone, I'm Storm Tracker 18 meteorologist Austin Haskins. We had a brief break from the heat and the mugginess in the air yesterday as we had an easterly wind take over with high pressure moving away from our region. It kept temperatures down in the 70s, dew points in those lower 60s. So it didn't feel all that bad out there yesterday, but our next system looms to the west, warm front to the southwest this morning, and that's going to be moving through today. That's going to bring in some warmer and more humid air, those dew points coming back up towards 70. And with the high moving away too, we get a southeast wind, which will bring in those higher dew points. It's also going to be turning breezy today as well. We've seen that already a little bit this morning, and this afternoon we could have some gusts at times between about 20 and 30 miles per hour. So in addition to it being more humid and warmer today, we'll deal with the wind as well. Now we could have a couple of isolated showers, maybe a rumble of thunder throughout the day today. The chances are on the very slight end of the scale, on the very low end of the scale. But after about 5, 6 o'clock, we're going to be watching storms out in Minnesota approaching our area, and that will move through during the mid-evening hours. So if you have any plans this evening, I would advise you to be weather aware, as we could be talking about not only a line of storms coming through, as Futurecast has been hinting at here, but as you'll see here in a minute, possibly some severe weather as well. So if you haven't already, I would download, you can see on the top left of your screen there, download that free Storm Tracker 18 weather app. That'll give you alerts and radar and anything else you might need to keep you safe, even in times of severe weather or even in times of quiet weather if you're maybe looking to get outdoors or anything of the sorts. But I would advise maybe having that downloaded tonight with that threat for severe weather in the forecast. Few showers may linger overnight, but by tomorrow morning, things are going to quiet down. And Friday afternoon is looking great, and it's going to be much less humid, too. So we get through today, the forecast looks a lot better for the weekend. And then looking at the HRRR model again, this one shows a couple more showers and storms around during the day today. But then it has the line coming through a little bit later and even potentially a little bit weaker than what the last model was showing. But it is an agreement that there will be a line of storms that'll track through the area during the evening and parts of the early overnight hours before things quiet down by tomorrow morning. So, Storm Prediction Center still maintains a level 1 and level 2 out of 5 risk for severe weather across the area. The higher risk area in the yellow, that's the 2 out of 5, the 1 out of 5 farther over to the east. So this just basically means that we'll have isolated to scattered severe storms with some intensity to it. An isolated tornado or two can't totally be ruled out. It's on the low end of the scale with some hail and wind reports as well. And in fact, we'll break it down here. So this is the tornado outlook for today. It's very low across the area. However, they do have this area in brown, which you look on the legend here, that's a step up. The reason for that is because this area will likely be near what's called the triple point, the low pressure, warm front, and cold front. Sometimes you get a little extra spin with that. So that's why the tornado potential was increased just a little bit farther to our west. Looking at a medium threat for damaging winds and a lower threat farther to the east, and the same thing with the hail threat as well. And with that line of storms coming through, it'll mostly be a damaging wind threat, but we could possibly have what's called those little brief spin-up tornadoes along the line of storms. We had that back in mid to late May this year, so that certainly does exist, and something that, of course, that we'll be monitoring pretty closely. But some of the key takeaways, again, showers and storms expected, mostly a line of storms between about 5, 6 p.m. and 1 a.m. with all hazards possible for some strong to severe storms. But there are some limiting factors that could maybe decrease our severe threats. So the extent of the cloud cover today, if we don't clear out, that could limit things a little bit. Any development ahead of the main line, that could maybe kind of foul things up a little bit, if you will. And any other smaller features and factors like, position of that low pressure, the warm and cold front, where the better energy is, things like that. So I would advise to stay with us for updates on air, online, social media. And as I mentioned, at the top left of your screen there, you see right up there, you can use your phone to scan the QR code to download that free Storm Tracker 18 weather app. But this forecast is not all doom and gloom. First of all, before I mention that, we do have also possibly some heavier rain mixed in with this as well. Could see anywhere from a 1/10 to 3/4 of an inch of rain. Higher end totals could be up to 2 inches of rain, but thankfully these storms should move through pretty quickly, so we don't have to really worry much about a flash flooding threat. But again, we'll monitor things closely. Now, finally, some good news in the forecast. As I mentioned earlier, we'll be less humid after today, but look at the forecast. I mean, all that sunshine around, so we're going to have several dry days. We'll still be warm Friday and Saturday, but then we'll cool back a little bit Sunday and Monday with highs in the mid-70s, lows in the 40s. So if you have any plans for Labor Day, it is looking fantastic. We just have to get through those storm chances later today and tonight.